I started off as a clerical officer, and then I became an ACA, which is PCS, and then I became a control officer, and then on emergency control, and then I became an emergency medical technician on the A&E ambulances, and now a paramedic. I've always wanted to be a paramedic. You just want to, it sounds really cliche to say it, you want to help people, but that's what you do, you want to help people. I have been verbally assaulted more times than I could count. It happens so often, it's unreal, and you don't know why, because at the end of the day, a lot of times the patient themselves have actually called us there, and you just go on and you could be called every name under the sun. And at the start I used to be really, how would I say it? It used to really, really annoy me, and now it's sad to say that it's become that common. Oh, I've been threatened to be killed a couple of times, and this was whilst I was on my own in the back of the ambulance with the patient, so there's nowhere for me to go in case he does decide to carry out his threat. It sounds silly, but being, somebody constantly verbally berating you is exhausting. Well, whenever on the night shift, you usually talk to your crewmate, do you know what I mean? And you sort of try and rally each other around again, to get each other, because you have to be ready for the next patient. You can't carry that on to your next patient. A lot of times I remember the patient that done it. So it's not to say that it leaves my head, because I always remember it. These might be patients that we get quite regularly. So it always has that apprehension of, God, if I get them again, is it going to be the same thing? And or are they going to actually turn physical this time? I've been assaulted, I've been punched in the mouth, and they sprung up off the bed, and I'm in front of them, and he just turned around and punched me in the mouth. Person denied any wrongdoing, and it was all dropped. Well, I actually got that person again. I was in the back of the vehicle alone with the person, but they didn't recognise who I was. I just automatically felt apprehensive and a bit scared, and it just, if they came around themselves and decided to kick off in the back of the ambulance, I don't have anywhere to go. Like, even whenever I think about being punched in the mouth, I'd be like, oh, well, it's not as bad as somebody else has got it. Like, I know of other members of staff who've been very seriously assaulted, and you try and brush off a lot of things, and you try to downplay a lot of things. Near enough everybody I know, majority of staff have been in some way assaulted, and it's actually really sad that happens, and it shouldn't happen, because at the end of the day, we're there to help people, and anybody that's ever been treated by myself or my colleagues, I've always been nothing but kind and compassionate to the person. So for it to happen out of the blue, whenever you're trying to help somebody, it is disheartening. I was attending a patient with a male colleague. I was a female patient, and the female patient kept on going on to various states of undress, and so we got on the ambulance, the back ambulance, and she became very sexually suggestive. She was absolutely covered in blood, from head to toe was covered in blood, and she then pins me up against the back of the ambulance and starts kissing my fists down the side of my fist, while she's absolutely saturated in blood. I was trying not to push her because I didn't want to hurt her, and because she was so unsteady, but I was trying to keep her fists away from my fists and telling her to stop. I managed to get her off me, and I was able to exit the back of the vehicle where my crewmate was, and she then refused to leave the ambulance. What is in somebody's blood or anything like that, and if they're kissing, like trying to kiss the side of my fist, is it going to go into my eyes, my mouth? You just don't know, and it just makes you feel very foul at it. That one bothered me the most, that one stuck with me the most, and I just couldn't, to be honest, I was in a state of disbelief, because it never happened before. I had never been sexually assaulted before, and people might downplay it because it was a female, but it's irrelevant. you know, still somebody touching you and having you pinned against the back of the ambulance against your will. To be honest, I still love the job. I still love being a paramedic because there's a lot of good patients out there that outweigh the bad.